I'm in the ghost town of Shop Creek, Illinois. I just set up my tent, so I'm going to go relax and have some dinner, write some postcards to the Travel Buddy level subscribers on Patreon and the 66 Club level as well, and just enjoy being in this ghost town. There's a little bit of interstate traffic over there that I hear. So far, I've heard 2 trains pass by somewhere behind these cornfields, so certainly the sounds of a train seem to always be a part of a Route 66 ghost town.
You see Shop Creek on this 1958 map at the intersection of US 66 and Illinois 108. On this circa 1930 map, you see Shop Creek centered at the intersection of the 108 and the railroad, just a half mile to the west, but still this general area. Right now, I'm zooming in to the location where I camped. I then drew the roads depicted on this 1930 map onto this 2019 satellite photo image, annotated it, and now I'm doing the same, zooming in to show you where I camped. This is looking north up where Route 66 used to be. I-55 is a little bit to the east. Now it's clearly just grass. And this is looking south or westbound from the same location. So we are at the center of Shop Creek as it was in the 1950s. Again, looking north, panning to the west where Shop Creek used to be, and then panning to the south. I have a whole separate video about Shop Creek. It's on my Patreon. You should check that out. But real quickly, this town dates back to at least 1850.
Shop Creek was a stop in the railroad. The railroad would have crossed at the top of this hill right there. And then Route 66 came through in 1930 and would have been right there, right where the green sign is for the interstate. It's about right there. There's a half a mile west. So you saw Shop Creek on maps by the railroad, and then eventually, where 66 went by. And they don't really call this Shop Creek anymore. So for that, I consider it a ghost town.
Especially because in the 50s you had several buildings in this area. I've annotated on this satellite photo roads and buildings that were there at the time. One of those roads went west from 66. And here is that road in a 1956 aerial shot. I took that road and it ends here. And also right around there was this foundation and barn. That's the same road on this 1930 map dividing the property of Painter and Hazel. In 1912, that would have divided the property of Myrtle Sanders and George Crawford. That night I camped in the southeast corner of what was Myrtle Sanders' property. Myrtle lived until 1936, but by 1930, this property was owned by a W. Carlew. Here we're looking from the 1950s center of town to the 1930s center of town. That is, from where 66 crossed 108 to where the railroad crossed 108. Noticed in 1923, there is a building on that southwest corner. I drove up and walked over to that corner, and this is what I saw. Modern topographic maps show this location as being Shop Creek, but this is probably just a holdover from the ghost town locations. Curiously, next to Nana's hidden attic is this sign that at one point said cafe and motel. I'm very interested to know what cafe and what motel was here. Was this a part of Shop Creek? And thanks to the 1946 book from Rittenhouse, we know that there was a gas station here at the intersection. And maybe it was this building here. I don't know. And that would be in this grass right here. Or maybe it was somewhere here. Well, there is a Shell station in the vicinity, so that's where I got my dinner. And just like a 1930s traveler might have, I'm camping in Shop Creek near 66. Thank you for joining me in my camping experience to get inspiration for the 66 Ghost Towns movement. If you want to check out more about Shop Creek, check out episode 31. Subscribe on Patreon and go back to December 31st, 2021. You'll have access to all those old videos. Enjoy!